Hey, what's up, listener? Thank you for pressing play. This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, Marvel releases the first full clip from Avengers Endgame featuring their plan to beat Thanos. Idris Elba is not replacing Will Smith as Deadshot in the James Gunn Suicide Squad reboot, but he is still in the movie. And The Walking Dead greenlights a third spinoff show for some reason. Plus, our spoiler review of the latest superhero movie from DC and Warner Brothers, Shazam. All that and more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Tuesday, April 9th, 2019.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Why? I don't know.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. We're talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert.
That's right. That's what's up, listener. How's it going? Thanks for joining us this week. And welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where you're going to get comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And over there is a felty that if he says Shazam, he turns into a human. Is that right, Rux? Is that how this works?
ShamWow!
ShamWow! Oh, no. Oh, he just turned into a douchey white guy.
Yeah, I beat up hookers.
Yeah, who beats up hookers. That's what he did. That's right.
Yeah.
The ShamWow guy. But you know what? The fucking ShamWow is so super absorbent. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and so am I.
Yeah, just like Rugs. If you're a new listener, thanks for checking out the show. Make sure you visit our website and the show notes for this episode, jockandnerd.com/269. It's got links to everything we're going to talk about, how to connect with the show, how to subscribe, how to support the show. Lots of fun stuff. And we got a bunch of news. Anybody have any opening thoughts they want to start? Or we just get to the news? Anthony, how's it going?
I like the show number.
Yeah, 69. I thought that would make
Apropos.
Oh, come on.
somebody.
No, Imran, 269.
269. So wait, what is 269? That's if you flip them and then you carry the one, where does the fourth person go?
I just like the number. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, 269. There's a lot of round curves in the number. We're mature. Let's get to the news, you mother.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
2 weeks away now from Avengers Endgame, and believe me, we're going to be talking about this movie every week until it comes out, the week it comes out, and for many weeks after it comes out. That's just the way it's going to have to be.
Probably.
Marvel just released the first actual clip from the movie Rugs.
What does that mean?
This is from the movie. This is an actual clip. Have you seen
that
this?
We've seen,
I like
is
that
it in the movie?
Imran explains it by repeating exactly what he said. It's a 1 minute long continuous scene from the movie. So it's not a cut trailer or teaser.
I see.
Rugs, yeah. I don't care if you've seen this or not. We are talking about this because it's fucking awesome. Have you seen it?
I didn't see it, but go ahead, talk about it.
Look, I think it's safe to watch these things because I think you can trust this marketing team to put out stuff that's not going to spoil things on purpose. And I think it's been amazing so far. Anthony, what do you think? Spoilery or no?
No, not really spoilery. It
says plan to beat Thanos.
Yes, you find out a bunch of things in this clip.
Yeah.
What is it? What did happen?
It's basically the Avengers. So it's Thor, Black Widow, Cap, Hulk,
Captain Marvel.
You see the Hulk?
Well, you see him as Bruce Banner and War Machine hanging out in basically a boardroom, and they notice that Thanos has used the stones again.
Holy shit. It starts with Black Widow going, Thanos has used the stones again. I was like, huh? What the fuck? Oh shit. What's going on?
So they find out, and they're just debating on if they should go over there and kick his ass. And
Captain Marvel's, let's get it and use the stones and reverse it.
Shut up, Imran. So Captain Marvel basically said their Hulk's or Bruce is questioning what's going to be any different in Captain Marvel.
Being the pussy, yeah.
Yeah, and Captain Marvel's going it because you don't have me.
Oh, it's badass. That's a great
and
line.
then they do the little scene where Thor tests her with the Stormbreaker, and she doesn't flinch, and he does I like her, or I like this one, and then it ends with Cap going, okay, let's go get that son of a bitch.
Oh my God. It's so good. But I thought Cap didn't swear his entire times. Language.
Hey, he's
Cap.
pissed.
He's pissed.
So it's not really spoilery, but it is a nice little clip.
There is a nice little.
I don't know why they released it, though. I don't think they needed to do that.
They were on Good Morning America. This was the footage that they showed at that CinemaCon last week.
That was the only thing that I could think of is that it already leaked that this clip was shown to some people, so they were like, let's just...
Cat was out of the
They
bag.
showed
just
it at
put
the
it out.
convention, and then they all showed up at Good Morning America earlier, and
They don't need to release anymore. I didn't find this all that necessary.
So this is, but clearly from very early on in the movie. Like, if you think about it, we've been shown, maybe a few minutes of a 3-hour movie, and it's still nothing spoilery. We don't know much.
Well, shit, we're getting 20 minutes of Godzilla, it seems like, at this point. So
No, they're really like laying it on really thick.
Yes. We'll get into that when we get to our Shazam review.
I just don't want it to get to that
what
point. I don't think it
happened
will, but...
But there's also a nice little a dialogue between Rhodey and Captain Marvel where he's like, speaking of which, where have you been? And she's like, look, there's a lot of other planets in the universe, and they don't have you guys. So she made it seem like she's been helping other people this whole
Pour
time.
yourself a glass of water.
What's that, bourbon, Rugs? Boybin?
Yeah.
Boybin. Oh.
Boybin. So I love this. I mean, this thing, it gets just this little bits is getting me more and more hyped, and it doesn't spoil. Now, let's play this game, because a couple of people asked me this at work. It's a fun game. It's the same game we played a year ago before Infinity War. What movies, if you had to pick 5, are necessary to watch before Endgame? Let's just keep it at 5, and then you can expand it.
Before Endgame, what's going to work? Well, you got to watch the first Avengers.
Yes, I agree.
All right, you got to watch Ultron.
Yeah, you got to watch the second Avengers.
I mean, if Cap dies, you should probably watch a Cap movie.
Well, I think you got to watch all the Russo brother movies.
Yeah, probably. That's probably a gimme.
There's your 5. And in fact, this is what Anthony Russo has said. He's like, look, if you're going to go into this, you want 5 movies, watch Avengers, Age of Ultron, Winter Soldier, Civil War, and Infinity War. And you should be
I
good
would have
to
thrown
go.
in an Iron Man movie.
Yeah, maybe an Iron Man, and maybe...
I would have gone with the first Iron Man just because I think this movie has also been the culmination of the fact that Tony Stark's been looking forward to this moment his entire life up until looking forward to this moment when he got hit with the shrapnel.
That's true.
I mean, he was the one in Age of Ultron that was going, we need to protect, there's something up there, it's the end game. We need to put a pseudo armor around the world.
And that directly references what is going on. Maybe you throw in even the first Captain America movie, maybe a Guardians of the Galaxy if you want to pad it out.
Yeah.
Just so you get to know the other characters.
Are you going to watch any movies?
Probably not. Maybe Infinity War
I
just
will
before.
not.
No?
I will not, but I feel like I know all these movies like the back of my hand.
Yeah. At this point, it's just
Age
show
of
me
Ultron's the only one I haven't seen more than a few times.
There's a killer robot in it.
Yeah.
No.
They're fighting in the snow in the beginning. Starts out with a great fight scene. But I don't know. I may watch just Infinity War just for shits and giggles to take up time while I'm waiting. But you're right. Just bring me the fucking movie. We'll be fine.
Couple weeks.
2 weeks left, listener. If you want
2 weeks,
to,
is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. It's a busy April. Listener, the conversation continues over on our social medias. Follow us on the Instagram, on the IG, on the gram, at Jock and Nerd, and then join our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. It's exclusive. It's closed just for you. We're all in there. We hang out. Ruggs, you put out a call in the nation.
I sound the alarm. I said, we need more geeks.
That was amazing. And I got to welcome a whole bunch of new people. Welcome Dave Lewis, Steve Satmaka, Michael Hooper, Tom Powell. If that's not a comic book name, I don't know what is. Tom Powell and Mark Roos Smith.
Talking Nerd.
Welcome to the nation and to this empire of stupidity.
Yeah.
Welcome.
We apologize.
And if you're listening now and you don't know about the nation, go to Facebook, look us up, and fucking, join us.
You can go to jockandnerd.com/contact. It has all the links to all the ways to get in touch. Okay, more MCU news. This one makes me really excited because we're finally getting a Packy in the MCU.
Oh, shit.
Kumail Nanjiani is going to be joining Angelina Jolie in the Eternals movie. I love this.
So he's going to be comic relief?
Baby.
Don't you want like a Packy to really be like a heroic figure?
Well, they're guessing that he would likely play.
He's not gonna be like a real character.
The role of Makari, who is a speedster with a talent for designing and building high-speed vehicles. So
Okay.
he could be kind of funny, but yeah, if he's gonna be comic relief,
there's no way he's gonna be serious.
He can be serious, but still, this is a fucking Packy American who's like, he was born in Pakistan, came here at 14, he's built this amazing career, Oscar nominated.
Yeah, of
now
course.
he's in an MCU movie. It's so cool. And the diversity on this movie, it's being directed by Chinese director Chloe Zhao, female Chinese filmmaker. And they're saying Angelina Jolie will probably be Cersei. Right? Anthony, this is good for representation. Come on.
Yeah, of course it's good. I'm not arguing against it.
Yeah, no one's saying
God damn it, Anthony, why do you have a problem with this?
You're pandering to me as if I would be against it. Come on, this is good. You should like this. I'm more or less confused. Not confused, but I think the name Cersei is going to confuse a lot of people in the Marvel movie.
Yes, they may be expecting Lena Headey.
Yeah, right?
From Game of Thrones. But so that Cersei predates fucking George R. R. Martin Cersei.
That's right.
That's the first Cersei.
Cersei is a mythological character name?
Is she?
I
think there's some kind of tie to some kind of
ancient, yeah.
Shame.
Oh, I used to have that clip. I don't have it anymore. I have this.
Lame.
That's what it should be. They should have lame in Game of Thrones. Rug Boy going lame. Rugs, now to your point, Kumail Nanjiani has some acting chops. You've seen The Big Sick. He's very good in that. Their new Twilight Zone from Jordan Peele, which is only on CBS All Access, has started, but you can watch the first episode for free right now.
Oh, shit.
On the YouTubes.
Really?
And I watched it. It's called The Comedian. Guess what? He plays a comedian. No shocker. But he has a surprisingly fucking dark, introspective, fucking dramatic performance in this. It's pretty good. I kind of dug this first episode of The Zone.
I didn't see it.
You should watch it. I'll put a link in the show notes.
CBS All Access. I wonder how that's doing. Although Twilight Zone is a popular.
Twilight Zone's pretty big. They got this Star Trek Discovery.
I love the Twilight Zone.
I think when the Jean-Luc Picard Star Trek series drops on there, they're going to get even more.
Isn't there already a Star Trek on there?
There is a Star Trek Discovery series. Yes, that's apparently pretty good, and it's. But just like the Twilight Zone, these things are adult. They're swearing in there.
I was enjoying that whole Star Trek thing. I just didn't have time to
Have you stopped watching it? Yeah, it's back in the second season.
What happens is, all right, I can let a couple episodes slide, but once it starts piling up into like 10 episodes
it gets
or
daunting.
a season,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't have time for this shit.
So
now.
the same thing happened with me with a whole bunch of shows like Arrow and The Gifted. I was like, and I'm
all
like,
them shows, Walking Dead.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm never gonna go back and watch this.
Even for me, Shark Tank piled up, and now I'm not caught up.
I'm still caught up on the Shark Tank.
I got to start watching that.
I'll suck that in right away.
Yeah, but you don't have to watch every episode of Shark Tank.
You don't, but they're so fun.
They're great.
Yeah.
I'm still caught up on The Flash, but yeah, a lot of these shows, I'm like, and then I just delete them. I'm like, I'm never gonna catch up on this. It's pointless. There's fucking 12 episodes now.
Yeah, that's a new thing that set in. I was like, all right, I can watch everything.
Yeah, it's too much.
Now you're like, I can't watch shit anymore.
No.
Right, and it gets too intimidating, and then you just quit.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of FOMO. I don't know what that is. Or I'm like, I just freeze and overstimulation and overchoice. It's like how I am at vending machines. I hate them. Too many options. There's too many.
It's kids on Molly at concerts.
Yes, exactly.
Overstimulated.
Too much. Let's move on to some DC movie news. So remember we talked about how Idris Elba was going to play Deadshot in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which is not a reboot it's not a sequel. It's a reboot. Turns out Idris Elba will not be playing Deadshot.
Right.
But that's only because they're not using Deadshot anymore. He's going to play another character, which they didn't name, but then James Gunn posted a thing on his Instagram story
Mhm.
That's a panel from the John Ostrander run that he's heavily basing this on, and it was a drawing of the Bronze Tiger.
Yeah, we had that in Arrow, didn't we? We didn't have Michael Jai White.
Yeah, Michael Jai White.
Oh, that's right.
That's okay. I would have preferred to see him as Deadshot, though. Deadshot's actually a big part of Suicide Squad and Secret Six. He's basically the character that carries that whole thing.
Well, James Gunn, it's interesting why they didn't do it. They thought, and his quote is, it would have been, quote, disrespecting Smith, who helped bring this character to life for the first time. So they're kind of doing it out of good intentions.
Yes. All right.
I think it's weird, though. I mean, Idris Elba is going to have to do a lot of martial arts.
I think he's a DJ. He does EDM concerts. I
Right.
think he can handle it.
What? How is that a connection?
You know, I don't know. The scratching motion on
He
a
is a
vinyl.
DJ.
He is a DJ.
No,
Same as martial arts.
Also noteworthy, I'm going to Coachella.
Oh, shit.
When this airs, I will be at Coachella.
Is that where you're going?
Yes, and
Oh,
Idris
fuck.
Elba is at Coachella this year.
Does he have a DJ name, or he just goes by
No,
Idris?
Idris Elba.
Yeah, I heard he's pretty good. That's
A
originally
house DJ, yeah.
what he wanted to do when he moved here to New York. He wanted to be a DJ.
So while you guys are listening to this, yeah, I'll be.
Holy
I'll be
shit,
I'll
that's
be out with
awesome.
my flower crown frolicking.
Ooh.
Look, he's pretty much
Coachella.
a supervillain in this Hobbs and Shaw movie, which still looks awesome. So, whatever he's in, he'll be fine.
So they're going to give him Wolverine claws? Is that what they're going to do?
Is that what
Basically,
who's the Bronze Tiger?
Bronze Tiger, he has like a brown leather jacket and a striped shirt, like a tiger striped shirt underneath. And he has Wolverine claws or some kind of gloves with claws on.
Oh, I see. Yes. And he's got kind of a Black Panther necklacey thing going on.
Yeah.
Hans Tiger.
Does he wear the tiger head? I see some of these where he's
Sometimes he
like a full
does.
tiger. Holy shit.
He's a master martial artist.
Oh. Dude, I think Idris Elba could do it. I think that's stunt doubles.
I think Michael J. White was actually a perfect casting for that.
Yeah, this is like, you can't really beat that.
Michael J. White legitimately can kick your ass. And
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
What was he Bronze Tiger in? Why can't I remember?
Arrow.
In the Arrow.
On the TV show. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. I remember Manu Bennett, though. He's fucking great.
Manu Bennett was good.
Another surprising thing in this article, Margot Robbie is coming back, and Jai Courtney's coming back as Captain Boomerang.
Oh, shit.
So they got the shitty Jai Courtney to come back, but Will Smith is
Jai
like,
bless.
fuck you guys. Jai bless. And Viola Davis will be back as Amanda Waller. So this is the same neighborhood, but it's
Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Man,
So
Amanda
Somebody
Waller
was saying, well, go ahead.
Amanda Waller, I was just going to say, was completely incompetent in the first movie. She was
Absolutely.
written that way. All right, go ahead, Ruggs.
You're like, oh, fuck my point.
Yeah, my point wasn't that great.
No, I read on Twitter, some guy was saying that Suicide Squad is the most racist movie ever made because
Why?
Like the Hispanic guy's a gang member.
yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah, and like they're just pointing out all these stereotypes, like the Australian guy throws boomerangs.
that's true.
That's a good point. The Latino guy knows how to tie a knot. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
The white blonde's a slut.
Yeah,
The black
Pretty
character
much.
is like a bad dad to his kid.
yeah.
It's all fucking stereotypes.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but see, if they were really going into the stereotype, he wouldn't be around for his kid.
Shit,
Oh,
yes.
shit.
It's true.
That would be the stereotype.
Makes it different.
And so it's different. They're not doing that.
It's
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah.
So I was like, I let that roll around in my head for a little bit. I was like, that's kind of cute.
I mean, if you really want to make connections, you can see a
I
little.
can see the points. I can see the
But
points.
what about the African dude being a crocodile?
Oh,
I guess there are crocodiles in the Nile. So
yeah.
What about the guy, the Native American dude who just loses his head?
yeah. Well, he was just an idiot.
I thought he was. Oh, he's Native American. Yes, they tie knots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very good knot tie. All right, in moving on to TV news, in what the fuck, The Walking Dead is producing a third spin-off series for some
God.
fucking reason. Now, another show.
Are you still watching this? By the way,
Yes, I am. They just finished season 9.
You're watching a Rickless Walking Dead.
Yes, I'm totally walking a Rickless Walking Dead. Let me fill you in.
walking. Or you're watching.
I'm walking The Watching Dead.
Wait,
I'm watching
and-
The Walking Dead.
Is there still the Fear the Walking Dead show on?
Yes, there is. That is in season 5.
You're watching that too?
No, I'm not watching that. Morgan is on that show. I've heard a lot of people have left The Walking Dead and they're watching Fear the Walking Dead. Quick
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. In the second to last season of episode of season 9, they do the whole thing, if you've read the comics, with the Whisperers and Alpha and the heads on spikes. So there's like a whole row of heads on spikes, and some of them are characters you don't really give a shit about. Some you just met. Some are a little bit longer, but they killed a whole bunch of fucking people off. And then the last episode of the season, it finally snowed. It was finally cold. The zombies
Winter is coming.
Dude, for 9 years, it never fucking snowed on the show.
It becomes Westeros. That's how this is like a prequel to Game of Thrones.
It is so much Game of Thrones because they're really trying hard to be the show just like Game of Thrones where no one is safe and these zombies are freezing and they just kind of push them over. So I was like, after this freeze, all the zombies will be dead. Like, there's going to be no problem. But finally, after 9 years, it's this fucking snow and cold weather on the show. I just thought that was odd. Aside from that, it's whatever. We don't know.
Why do you waste your time?
Because I've watched all of it, and I feel
completist in you.
Yeah, I feel kind of completist and obligated. I gave up on the Fear of the Walking Dead. Anyways, this third fucking show, which they're going to debut in 2020, will center on 2 young female protagonists.
Whoa.
Focus on the first generation to come of age in the apocalypse as we know it, AMC teased. Some will become heroes. Some will become villains. In the end, all of them will be changed forever, grown-ups and cemented in their identities, both good and bad. So, new fucking third show.
Nice.
Now, I found this other article where clearly we've talked about AMC's doubling down on this franchise. Like, this shit is going to be around for 10 years. No matter who's watching it or not, but AMC apparently not concerned with the decline in ratings. It's about, even though season 9 had the lowest premiere, the lowest mid-season premiere, the lowest season finale of the whole show's run, they defending it by saying our decline has really mirrored the declines across basic cable. We just had higher to fall from. Yeah, it's a little bit of a spin.
Well, whatever. They had nobody watching AMC before.
That's a good point.
I mean, they had Breaking Bad, and that was it, and then that was over.
Even though it's record low numbers, like 5 million people a week, it's still the number one show, they said, by a margin of 2-1.
Right.
On cable.
There's more people watching The Walking Dead now than Breaking Bad ever had, I think, pretty much, even at its height.
That's interesting. And they're going to have a season 10. And
I just made that up. I'm probably right.
You're probably right.
Yeah, you might be wrong. You might be wrong about that. Who knows? I don't want to look it up.
Send us an email.
Anthony, what do you make of all this? Why are they still going?
Walking Dead on AMC?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's still bringing them enough ratings where they think it's something that can sustain, I mean, I don't know what else what else do they have?
Into the Badlands? No, that's canceled.
There's nothing else that I can think of that they have.
No, it is their channel.
Yeah, and that's their flagship show. So
they are. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised
to ride it out
in a few years that everything on AMC is just Walking Dead spinoffs.
I will give them this, and it might be spin, but TV ratings as a whole are declining just because the cable cord cutting, and then also DVRs now. Yeah, everyone seems to have that, so people aren't watching things live anymore unless it's sports. The only thing that is really bulletproof right now is sports.
They also said season 9, even though it had the lowest numbers, it had the highest Rotten Tomatoes rating, season 9, that the show has had. That's interesting that you brought up the decline in ratings. We're going to talk about a show that's a holdout of the old model that people are going to watch live. But before we do that, did you guys know that there's a fucking Hellboy movie out when this show posts?
Oh, shit.
There will be an R-rated Hellboy movie out. What a really horrible time to try to put.
I'm going to go watch it.
Are you going to watch it?
Yeah.
You better send in an instant reaction then, you fucking puppet.
I don't know if I'm going to watch it this weekend, but I'll watch it at some point.
Eventually, yes. But, I mean, this thing is buried. They put out a new R-rated Red Band trailer. Ruggs, did you see any of this trailer?
No.
So it's really gory, and they're just like, it's R-rated because of the gore. They're showing a lot of blood, faces ripping off. But there's a lot of CGI in this. I don't know. It's like very CGI heavy when you kind of love the practicalness of the original Guillermo del Toro movies.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's what they're trying to do to get the new viewer in. Give him some eye candies.
A lot of large monsters, a lot of big battles, a lot of CGI characters and sets and locations.
Yeah, all the stupid mainstream people are like, "Oh, there's shiny graphics. Let me go watch that."
It does.
Go see it.
It does. Any interest in this, Anthony, at all?
So I'm watching it as we speak. There is a lot of gore in this trailer.
Yeah.
No, I have no interest. I think this is I don't see how this movie does well at all. I mean, it's a movie, I think I've said this before, but it's a movie no one's really asked for. You had the best Hellboy iteration in terms of, was it Ron Perlman?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you already had that. You had a auteur and Guillermo del Toro directing it.
That's right.
No one was asking for a reboot this soon. And to release it in April amongst all the Infinity War hype and you've got Shazam and all these other things, I mean, just doesn't seem very smart. Unless,
I hope it does
hopefully
something.
It does well. Hopefully it does well, but I just don't see it doing well. There's literally no hype. I watched I was watching something on TV and I saw that this was coming out this Friday. We're recording this on Tuesday, April 9th.
Yeah.
But so I knew that it was coming out Friday. I was wait, what?
Really?
I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Who knows that Hellboy's coming out?
I mean, there's going to be a really small, loyal group of fans seeing this opening weekend.
You want to call what it makes? 30 million at most.
Really?
Opening weekend or
that
at
much?
most?
Opening
At
weekend.
most.
Altogether?
30 million.
No, the whole weekend.
Oh, fuck. All weekend. Opening weekend.
Opening weekend?
I think it makes less than that, maybe.
Yeah, I think it'll go
20?
15 the opening weekend.
15 million. This movie looks like it doesn't have a huge budget. There is a lot of CGI, so I don't know how much they spent on this. Whether
the OG Hellboy made.
Yeah.
This was back in 2004, so you have to figure out inflation or whatever if what this would be now. But it made 60 million overall.
was that PG-13 movie?
Right.
Yes.
So
PG-13.
this is R-rated. This is going to be a lot less.
Oh, so you're talking about maybe 15 million?
So
at
maybe,
most?
or maybe 30, half of that, maybe 30 is right. It's going to get buried.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe 30 might be right. Who knows?
David
30,
Harbour.
I think they'd be very happy if they got 30 million.
I think so.
This weekend.
What? Because didn't Shazam make like 60 this weekend or something?
Almost. We'll get into that. 53.
So I figure it's going to make at least half of what Shazam. Maybe a little bit less than half.
I think if they make 25 to 30 for an R-rated
yeah,
they'll
movie,
be very happy.
They should be happy. David Harbour playing the big red Hellboy. David Harbour also cast
David Harbour,
also from Stranger Things. He will also be in the Black Widow movie with Scarlett.
Geek
Yep.
boner.
He, I don't know who's going to play, but he's been cast in Black Widow.
Really?
Yeah, and they're going to start shooting soon, is what he said. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is another variable in the box office this weekend because, look, the movie, this Hellboy, comes out on Friday. Sunday is going to be something where people are not going to DVR it. They're going to sit down and watch it live, and it is the first episode of Season 8 of Game of Thrones,
Geek boner.
which will have aired by the time this show posts.
God damn it! I have to get HBO.
There's so much going on this month. I'm so super psyched. I wanted to ask you guys, have you watched anything to prepare for this? Or what would you recommend someone?
I would just go to YouTube's.
Yes.
And they have like tons of retrospectives that go over explain all the different seasons.
I've watched a couple of YouTube recaps. They're very helpful.
Yeah. So I think that's a good way to go. If you've already seen them, you could always watch the last season, only 6 episodes. You're in and out.
That's a good point. Anthony, you like Infinity Endgame? Are you gonna watch anything before to get ready for this?
I don't know if I'm going to watch anything in particular. I have watched some YouTube videos. I don't know if I'm going to watch specific episodes. I've had a few friends that have been rewatching everything. Which
People have been trying to binge between trying to binge the MCU and Game of Thrones before all this shit drops. I don't know how you people are doing this.
I would recommend, and this is from TJ Johnson. That
Yes.
He's originally recommended me this.
Yes.
But if you follow The Take by Screen Prism, they do a really good Game of Thrones analysis on symbolism and all the different houses. So definitely something to check out. It's really well done.
House Targaryen.
Yeah, they go through all the houses.
On the Comcast box, if you got the Comcast, they have an HBO. They have a whole Game of Thrones section. What I watched was actually really good. It was character recaps told by the actor. Each actor took their and talked, and we saw clips of their whole arc. And it was actually really good because at one point, Arya, the actress, Maisie Williams, is like, wow, this is really fucked up that when all this shit is done, like they start to realize where their character's gone. So you watch all of those and you get a nice sense of recapping also. They're like 16 minutes for each character. And then I randomly watched the Battle of Blackwater from season 2 the other night. That's a fucking great episode. I wanted to watch all the battle episodes. So I think I'm going to do that. And then I watched someone on Twitter just tweeted the clip of when Daenerys gets the Unsullied in Valeria after she's given the guy the dragon. He's holding onto the chain. Remember that whole fucking...
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That's a great episode.
Dude, that whole scene is amazing because she turns around, walks over to the army and like tests it out. She's like, does this work? And they listen to everything. And then she's like, kill all the masters, free the slaves. And then she's like, Dracarys. And he fucking burns it up. It's so fucking badass. She just fucking killed all those people.
I mean, those are all, that's a good moment.
Yeah.
The battle at Castle Black is a good one.
Hardhome.
Battle of Bastards. There's so many good ones. All of season 7.
Yes.
There's so many good fan service moments. And I mean, this whole show is amazing.
I think I'm ready. I think I remember enough and I'm back in the fucking mindset.
Let me ask you guys this, because I haven't watched as many shows.
Yeah.
Is Game of Thrones one of, if not the best ever shows you've seen?
I've been saying that.
Yeah. Is it the best?
I think it's up there.
I would say right now it's the best thing on television by
overall
far.
Quality of actors, performances, production value, and all that other stuff, and world building. It's up there. It's like gotta be one of the best.
Look, we're in a world of all these streaming.
You can't tell what's going to happen. Really.
We're in a world of all these content providers, and they're throwing money at these shows, but the shows maybe aren't getting a lot of money, right? This is really one of the last holdouts of the old way of TV, appointment television, spending a lot of money, a lot of detail. And after this, I don't think we see another show like Game of Thrones again.
I'm not going to let you escape that, Imran. You went one of the best shows on TV right now.
Yes.
Is it the best you've ever seen?
Oh, it's definitely fucking up there. It's definitely, I'm trying to think.
I mean, your all time's what, Sopranos?
Sopranos, and it's another HBO show. And
I would say Sopranos, Battlestar Galactica. I would say Game of Thrones is great. What else is it?
Were you a Breaking Bad guy?
Breaking Bad, absolutely Breaking Bad.
The Wire, a lot of people put The Wire up there.
The Wire's good.
Never got into that. So
Lost? No.
Lost? I got angry at Lost.
It's too gimmicky. Yes. I want to put 24 in there, but it's network television. It can't compete. But 24 was groundbreaking. It was different. And it was tense. And nobody was safe. It had the same, before Game of Thrones, it had the same kind of feelings. They did it on fucking Fox. So, I don't know. I mean, it's no Game of Thrones, but still. One of the better ones.
I mean, there were some really cool shows, and this is one of the last of them. So, I mean, all the networks tried to launch their own shows. I don't remember a lot. So many got launched, but I don't remember them. So, this one's the most memorable. I'm sure that they were really good shows, but I don't remember them. They don't stick out to me. They're not like I could just call them up and go, oh, that was a fucking amazing show.
Do you think, let me ask you this. Do you think, I said last week, the third episode of this season is 82 minutes. It's huge. It comes out the Sunday. Avengers Endgame comes out. Does that hurt the box office?
No. Because HBO's going to have it on like 1,000 times.
Yeah,
That's
HBO.
true.
If you have HBO, you're going to be if you have HBO,
DVR it.
You can DVR it, or you have access, I believe, to the app too.
Yes, HBO Go. But I will say, I think the first episode that comes out this week, which is the weekend Hellboy comes out, I think it definitely affects fucking Hellboy's box office. Because it's the first episode. Everyone's going to want to see this shit live.
I don't know, Imran. A lot of people don't watch movies on a Sunday night. They don't go to the theater. The theater going experience isn't built on a Sunday night.
That's also true, and it's like 8 p.m. by then.
I mean, that's probably...
the weekend's kind of over at that point.
Just a third of the box office right there. I don't know if it's going to really affect it.
There's too much fucking shit coming out.
This is what I ask you.
Yeah.
If you don't have HBO, how are you going to watch this? Are you going to get the HBO Go app? Can you watch it on the app? How does that work?
I got HBO just because of this.
So you ordered that for your cable system?
Yep.
Yes, I added it back on. It is the most pirated show on the internet also. Surpassing like Walking Dead. It is the most shared pirated show.
But the app, you can't watch anything on the app, or you can.
You can.
You can't get the app without getting the cable station.
I think you can get it separately now. That I'm not.
They have the
it used to be
things.
connected.
Yeah.
You used to have to do that, and I think there was a lot of complaints because what's the point of having the app if you're tied into the cable? So I think they separated those two. But I'm just a fucking stupid chimp. So who knows if that was really the case or not?
Because it's probably easier to get it and cancel it if you have an app, right?
Yeah.
It's the same though. It's like $15 a month either way.
Oh, is it?
Yes. And then on Comcast, they add fees on that shit. So it's like $20 a month extra. It's bullshit. I got to renegotiate.
This is number one bullshit.
Number one, get this man a shield. All right, look, there's too much shit going on. Like so much Geek Boner. In April. We're going to try to keep up with it all, but we're going to take a quick break right now, play some promos, and we'll be back with our spoiler review of Shazam right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Chris from the hashtag No Offense podcast. What we are a weekly podcast of just three average guys from Tampa, Florida, sharing a few beers and a few laughs. Topics ranging from music and movies to kids and marriage to current events and social commentary, all while putting your own personal touch on it. Check out this clip from our most recent epispisode.
That was amazing.
I don't get what this woman's thinking, dude. She's got like a 40-pound fucking beast on in the airport on the thing. Did you see the pictures?
No, I didn't.
It was loose. It wasn't in a cage, dude. It was perched up on her fucking like luggage cart, dude. She's just trying to roll it up into. She bought a seat for it. She thought that would make it okay. She bought a ticket for the fucking peacock.
Well, at least she bought a seat for it.
But they told her ahead of time, apparently, no, this is not going to fly, and she just brought the fucking thing in.
Well, do peacocks fly? I don't think
do they?
I don't know if they can fly or not.
I don't know.
I wonder if she plays that Katy Perry song "Peacock" when she walks around. I want to see your peacock, cock, your peacock.
I don't even know that song.
I don't
You
either.
don't know that song?
And did you pull up the lyrics to that song on your
I
laptop?
wanted to make sure I got it correct.
You did. I knew it. I saw you look.
I mean, I like the song, but I wanted to make sure I got it correct.
He said, I want to make sure I got the right number of cocks. So if you like what you heard, search for hashtag No Offense on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcast fix, and look for us on social media at HTNOS everywhere.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll get you back to your podcasty goodness now in a minute. First, we'd like to take a second to tell you about our marginally better podcast, the 365 Flicks podcast. I am the Scottish weeding whore Chris, and I am the Pissy X video store clerk Kev. And we bring you the latest movie and TV news, reviews, and rants. All that and a bunch of top fives that you really will not care about. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Libsyn, and all other third-party podcasting apps. And on top of all that, you'll get free access to our indie talk. You'll hear us speaking with directors, producers, actors, comic book creators, and artists about their experiences. Don't forget to drop us 5 stars and follow us on the Facebooks and the Twitters. Told him not to go in the water.
Listener, it's April. My birthday just passed. It's the perfect time to join our fan club at jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Thanks for all the birthday wishes, guys, also.
Happy birthday, Imran.
Thank you. Don't mention it ever again, because after 40, I don't want to acknowledge it. Ooh. It's funny, because I feel 12, I turn 43, and I look 86. Jock and Nerd. That's how all those numbers end up. Anyways, join the fan club. You'll be helping out the show, and you get bonus content. You get a whole RSS feed with lots more bullshit from us, like instant reactions, post shows. All the shows drop there early. This show, Anthony's spinoff show, where he talks to really interesting people, comes out there first. You get to hear it before anyone else. And in April, we're doing a pledge-a-thon, pledge drive-a-thon, a Patreon, a pledge drive-a-thon. We're trying to reach 15 new patrons in the month of April.
We're trying to save homeless animals. Give us money.
We're trying to save the pandas, because they have vitiligo and they look like me and they're so cute. Save the vitiligo animals.
No, I'm talking about those animals that with the sad music.
Oh, all the fucking mistreated dogs. And yes, we need some.
Yeah,
I should cut some of that in.
With the cat that's missing an eye and
yeah,
shit.
right.
Only 12 cents
dog
a
with
day
3 legs.
We'll feed this dog 4 meals.
Okay,
I help animals.
That's false advertising.
False advertising.
But
Hey,
it would work.
If it means anything, I foster dogs all the time. So I am actually fucking helping animals.
Tell them about the dog you have right now.
Oh, you mean the diabetic, epileptic, blind dog, Roma, who gets insulin 2 times a day and is on 3 different anti-seizure medications?
Laugh, but the fact that she has all 3 is just unbelievable.
It's endearing, and she's a Samoyed. She's a big, fluffy, white, fluffy dog.
Oh, I love those dogs.
She's doing well. There was a little bit of a spell. They had to put her on 3 anti-seizure medications, and she stabilized.
Oh, Jesus.
So we're just going to keep her on this cocktail.
If you donate to the show, then the show will get funded, and he can fund his he can not use podcast money to help this blind, epileptic, diabetic dog.
I'll send you updates of Roma. She's adorable. Anywho, look, if we get 15 new patrons by the end of the month, this is what happens. All those new patrons and everyone who increases their pledge, even if it's by $1, they will be in a random drawing to win a Jock and Nerd prize package. Jock and Nerd! Consisting of a t-shirt, some stickers. You can pick a movie for us to review. You can force Anthony to watch any crappy movie you want.
Oh, fuck.
And we'll do a video shout-out of the 3 of us, all just for you, just like a cameo video. Thank you. Huge shout-out to Blake Braden for increasing his support. Thank you. BB.
Thanks, Blake.
Blake's the best.
Blake, you're awesome.
He's in the running.
I gave Blake Vegas tips like last summer.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if they were good tips. We should find out. Blake, let us know if his tips were on point or you ended up in a weird place and there was a bulge where you didn't expect the bulge. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, show me your tips.
Yeah, show me your tips. I'll show you my tips. So, look, there's 3 people in the competition. Everyone's got a 33 and a third% chance of winning. Let's make it harder.
33 and a third.
What is this, G-Fest?
33%. These things hopefully picks up as the weeks go by. And we keep repeating it ad nauseum. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Let's get to our movie review of Shazam. Here's your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Yeah, this is the 7th film in the DC universe, or what was called the DC Extended Universe. Now they're calling it Worlds of DC. I don't know what the fuck it's called.
That's what it's called now?
Worlds of DC, though, kind of does make more sense if you look at these last few movies, what they're trying to do.
They exist in their own.
They exist in their own thing, and they're kind of connected. This is also the 2nd Captain Marvel movie.
Oh, shit.
Of the year. Yes. Shazam is the OG original Captain Marvel. First appearance in Wiz Comics #2 in 1940. Published by Fawcett Comics and then published by DC Comics.
All these words are making me want to pee. Fawcett, Wiz.
Yeah, they had a...
And he was in Piss Comics.
And he was in Piss. Why was there a urination theme with these comics from the 30s? That's a good point. Turn off the Fawcett. Created by Bill Parker and C.C. Beck. Now, you've probably seen these articles about the 2 different Captain Marvels. I have a great article. I'll put it in the show notes. There are 2 Captain Marvels. This is the story of why. It's pretty convoluted, but I find it fascinating. Deals with intellectual property, trademark, copyright, the difference between trademark and copyright. Todd McFarlane is involved at some point in this story. The character of Miracle Man is also involved in this story. It's a crazy story. Maybe I'll do like a Patreon thing about it.
I did read that. Yeah, it was very interesting.
Very interesting.
I had a loose familiarity with it, but that enlightened me more.
Yeah, it is a great article, and it's got a crazy history. So the fact that we're in 2019 get 2 movies the same year of both of these characters. Shazam also had a really cheesy live-action series in the mid-70s.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
You watched this? It was pretty bad, right?
I remember there was ISIS and Shazam.
Then it was like the Shazam Power Hour with ISIS, which is not the terrorist group. It's the Egyptian god.
Oh, yeah, not that ISIS.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
that's
a chick.
what I think of.
Really
Again,
hot.
ISIS stole the name from the Egyptian god. Yeah, she was a hot Egyptian goddess superhero chick. And then a Saturday morning cartoon in the early 80s, which I don't remember that very much.
I don't remember that either.
Again, it was like the Shazam Power Hour. Rotten Tomatoes has this right now, 91%, 7.3 out of 10. So it's still trending very favorable. Box office wide now, this movie reportedly made for, I saw different numbers, I'm guessing somewhere between 90 to 100 million, which for a big superhero movie, that's like a half budget. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not huge.
It's not huge. So look, low risk with this Shazam movie. Opening weekend makes...
I wouldn't go low risk.
Not low risk, but it's not 200 million, 250 million.
Right.
budgets that they blew on fucking Justice League and the other movies. 53 million domestic opening weekend, 158 million international opening weekend. Right now, sitting at 162.
I feel like that's low.
Worldwide.
They're actually pretty happy with. They've already decided they've already hired writers for the part 2.
Yes, there's going to be a sequel.
Seems low for a superhero movie that's like by DC. Or something.
It's similar to what Ant-Man made.
Yes, it is Ant-Man money.
Yeah, it's Ant-Man level.
And the budget is similar. So this is another movie that kind of proves to Hollywood that superhero movies with these tiny, flexible budgets can work with audiences. And we'll see it again with The Joker in October. That's like 55 million.
It's comparable to what Thor actually made its first weekend.
Oh, really? So
Thor was 65.
And I think also there's, I don't think a lot of people, unless you're a comic book reader, the general audience doesn't really know this character. The trailers are fun.
Yeah,
but it's a goofy character. This movie directed by...
It's now a goofy character. It was made a goofy character.
Yes, and we'll talk about that.
It used to be Superman's competition.
Analog, yes, which is why DC sued them because it was too similar to Superman. In fact, on the covers of Action Comics 1, you've all seen that cover where Superman's holding up it's like a VW bug and smashing it against the thing. The cover of Captain Marvel 1, he is throwing a fucking Volkswagen bug against the wall.
Oh, shit.
Like the same exact thing, just going the other way. Yeah, they just totally ripped this off. But this costume design is exactly that from 1939, 1940. This is the classic character that's come down. Directed by David F. Sandberg, who hasn't done many movies, known mostly for Lights Out and Annabelle creation. And he's done a lot of shorts and
horror movies.
Yes, horror movies. And you kind of see a little bit of a horror flair in this movie. The cast, of course, you have Zachary Levi as grown-up Shazam, Mark Strong, Dr. Savannah, Asher Angel playing young Billy Batson, Jack Dylan Grazer, Freddie Freeman, Jimon Hunsu, Digimon Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Right, Rex?
That's what I said, yeah.
Jimon Hunsu in both Captain Marvel movies.
Oh, shit.
He's like, I'm going to make all the Captain Marvel money. I'm taking both.
Yeah, he's like Grey Poupon, Dijon Hunt.
But of course.
Yeah.
And a bunch of kids. One of the fun kids being Ian Chen, who's from Fresh Off the Boat. He's one of the kids of Fresh Off the Boat, who I love. That's a great show. And that's it. John Glover as Savannah's father, who John Glover, I believe, played Lex Luthor's father.
That's right.
In
Lionel
Smallville. Lionel Luthor. And here plays Dr. Savannah's father in the opening flashback. So let's start with our opening thoughts and let me know how much you knew of this character, how much baggage you had going in, and what did you think? Anthony, I'm going to have you go first.
Okay. How much I know about this character? Actually, I know a pretty good deal about him. I had done a little bit of research. I've read some of the New 52 where Shazam is in those comics.
Yeah, and this is based on that heavily.
Yeah, and I have a decent familiarity. I don't know a particular Shazam storyline, but I had a pretty decent knowledge of his character and some of his villains. So more knowledge than probably most people. As far as my opening thoughts, this was really good. I thought I really enjoyed this. It reminded me of an early Marvel film, MCU style, where the characters are really interesting. The action isn't the best, but you don't really care because the characters are interesting. Zachary Levi playing a wish fulfillment giant kid is really well done. The movie kind of breaks the mold a little bit of these superhero origin movies in terms of a foster family and a diverse one, a foster family that's not this foster family that the kid wants to get away from because it's just abusive. It's actually a loving foster family.
No, they're not evil for once.
They're not
There's
evil.
no evil. It's Jerry from The Walking Dead. How could you hate Jerry?
Yeah, so I mean, all that stuff. I enjoyed all the kids in the movie. I thought every kid had their own personality and was good. Freddie Freeman and grown-up Shazam, their chemistry is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I actually really enjoyed this film. It's got a lot of heart. It's super endearing. And there's a moment in the third act. Did we already hit the spoiler button?
Spoiler alert.
So there's a moment, since I get to go first, I'll spoil it. And I'll take the shine right away. That moment in the third act where all the kids become the Marvel family was literally, I was in the theater and there were 40% full, all on a Friday night, and everyone just started clapping, like round of applause style.
Tear up. Yes.
That was awesome. Yeah. So overall, very, very solid film. Really enjoyed it, and I like what they did with it.
It works because they earned that moment, and you felt so happy for them.
Yeah, the whole moment he's been pushing away his family, and then he realizes that it's better to do it together, and then they share.
It says
power.
use your heart, and good on them for not spoiling that. Like, had that been
that's a huge
spoiled,
moment.
it was a great moment. Ruggs,
Yeah.
what did you know about Shazam, and what did you think of this
What
movie
I know
coming
about
out?
Shazam?
Yeah.
Well, I forgot more than I knew.
Okay.
Because this is some shit that I was growing up with in the 70s.
Yep.
Right? In the early 80s. And there were figures around. I remember there was the Migos Shazam. There was
Migos,
not the Versace flow.
Nanquavo.
No.
Yeah. And
offset and takeoff.
Yo, fuck your
Yeah.
triplets. That's all I gotta say.
But he was around. He was around in pop culture at that point. And I knew that he was based off of mythical ideas and stuff like that. I did not read the New 52, but I've seen him in some of the animations.
Oh yeah, in the Justice League War, he's
Yeah.
in that, and he's in a couple of the Justice League movies. Yes.
Yeah, and the cartoon.
Yes.
The Justice League cartoon, he was in that.
Oh yeah.
So they did. He's been a guest in a few episodes.
He's been in video games too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's been around.
Yeah.
So I know him through that, exposure. But did I ever read I think I do own a Jerry Ordway Shazam graphic novel.
Wow.
And I remember reading it a long time ago. But so I know Shazam. I know Captain Marvel. That's what I used to call him, and now we call him Shazam. So I know all this stuff. What did I think of the movie? Basically, the fact that it's this lovable kind of throwback to the 80s type comedy, you just go with it. And if you do go with it, you can enjoy it for what it is and have a really good time. And I think that it does do some interesting things. And this is what I'll say that it does the best.
Yeah.
I don't know if it does it better than Deadpool because they're doing a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it does the best comedy that I've seen in a comic book movie. All of the jokes, pretty much all of them, were very smart jokes that were hilarious. And I did not, even though some of these things were cheesy, it worked in the context of what was happening. So it made sense that, okay, this kid's a wise ass.
Yeah.
He's in a fucking ridiculous red costume.
Yeah.
All right. All of these jokes are going to land perfectly. And not all of them are perfect, but I mean, a good amount, like a lot more than in some of the Marvel movies where they get jokey, a lot more in a lot of other movies where they get jokey. Even better than Deadpool 2, I'll say. Some of these jokes land better.
Oh, wow.
So, as far as the comedy writing in this is very good. Very well done. So I think that's the strong suit of the movie. Tonally, there's some issues and there's some little things you could be nitpicky about. But overall, when I watched it, I was very, very pleased with it. So I think it's definitely check out this movie. I could see watching it when it comes on cable or whatever, giving it another spin, no problem.
Yeah. Right on. Me, the same thing. I knew of Shazam. I've read the New 52. I knew kind of the whole history of this character. I was really fascinated with the whole Fawcett comics when I first heard that story. So I'm familiar with Shazam, but I really had no expectations going in. Kind of didn't have any baggage, and I really had a good time. And like you said, Ruggs, you nailed it. The humor is so good, and all of it lands, and I was laughing out loud. It's not super corny. It works. Zachary Levi, this was all going to rest a lot on how he played Shazam, and I think he nails it. I think he hit it out of the park for the most part. The suit looks great. The movie follows its own rules for the most part. It's well-rounded, and it's a simple path, and it has that great twist in the end, but I had a lot of fun. One of the other things I think it does great, and all the DC movies can learn from this, is I loved just the casual references to the universe, tying it in. There was no shoehorning of anything. This, you clearly get, this is in the same universe as all those other movies, but they don't hit you over the head with it. And I kind of love you see the toys and the t-shirts.
Right.
You know?
I really feel like, though, when you live in a world where superheroes exist, I think that people's reactions should be a little bit more kind of like, oh, another superhero. Another guy with powers. and that's not what was going on in this movie. It was but I guess like it makes him seem more special.
Yeah, I think it was just because it was in Philly, so it's maybe like their first.
It's Philly style. They were proud of the Philly hero.
Yeah, well, that comes through a little bit. Yeah, it does. They have a couple of things there that really on the news and stuff like that kind of make that point.
Well, they make the Rocky reference, and I like people from Philly. I gotta love this movie, but the humor, dude, like when he's like, wait, shoot him in the face, like that shit was hilarious. When they get to the top of the Rocky thing, he's like, oh, I see why Rocky tried so hard to get up here. It's beautiful. There's a lot of great stuff, and I like that you meet. What'd you think of how the movie starts with Savannah's origin, and you kind of feel for this kid? You get it. He had the power.
That was clever.
And they
to
snatched
do his
from
origin.
it. Yeah.
Because you immediately, I mean, he's not the greatest villain, but by throwing that in, you kind of get, oh, okay, this is why this character wants to do this. Right, yeah. It makes a lot of sense why he's not this mustache-twirling villain. He's this kid that, from a young age, he's actually the parallel to Billy Batson. From a young age, he was also rejected.
Yes.
He was told he wasn't good enough.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes down a darker path because he wants to prove that he is good enough, and he'll do it by any means necessary. Whereas Billy Batson also wants to prove he's good enough, but then realizes that, hey, like I don't need to be self-centered. I can do this with other people. So that's where they have their fork in the road moment for both of those characters.
The mark of a good villain, also, we've discussed this in the past, is if the villain can push the growth of the protagonist. And I think they do that well. Like you see Billy's, it is a coming of age story of Billy Batson in different forms.
It's a coming of age of Billy Batson becoming a good person.
Trying not to be shitty.
Right.
And
I think what really works for this movie, you mentioned the comedy, and I like that as well. You know, they really embrace the cheesier aspects of it, but it works within the context of the fact that this is what they realized with this film, or what it seems like they realized, is these movies are, I mean, these heroes were back in the day, like a lot of these things were for kids.
Yeah.
And this movie is unabashedly, like, it has adult sensibilities, but it's still at heart, it's wish fulfillment. It's about
it's for the kid inside you.
Oh my God.
Exactly. It relates to every person's inner child and going, oh yeah, like I would kind of probably
I would love
use
this.
the superhero powers for selfish reasons, and then hopefully I would confront the villain, but I'd actually be really scared and I would need help, and I'd need like the support of others to maybe overcome this obstacle.
And I would try to buy beer and use my powers to do stupid teenage things.
That's the whole they got that right out of the Spider-Man Bible right there.
Yeah.
Like where Spider-Man was doing dumb shit, and then all of a sudden he had to kind of realize that he could be doing something good with those powers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the same exact thing. I mean, that's a good point. Like when Billy, that's why I kind of forgive how like Billy as a teenager is kind of just a little bit more soft-spoken, but when he gets in the costume as Zachary Levi's Shazam, he's a little more outgoing. I related that to Peter Parker when he's in the costume.
Oh, that's a good point, because I wanted to ask you guys. It seemed a little weird. Did Zachary Levi's growing up Shazam seem like he was playing the same Billy Batson? Because when he's Shazam, he's almost way goofier and sillier than when he's a kid. He's just this like angsty, sullen kid.
I think that I don't think Zachary Levi's performance was wrong. I think that he was doing a 14-year-old kid.
He was.
I think the kid who plays Billy Batson maybe should have kind of come up just a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
To bridge the gap, because this fucking kid is like the coolest kid on earth. He like walks with a swagger.
Yeah.
He doesn't say
He's
much.
cocky. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very cocky. And then that's not who you get in the Shazam suit. Now, if he was cocky like Spider-Man like Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, you know, he's very, I feel like he's more goofy than outgoing.
He is more goofy. I got that goofy vibe, but it worked.
The only thing that could explain that for me personally was the fact that it seemed like Zachary Levi was playing it as if he was a kid trying to play an adult, so he didn't know what an adult should act like, and this was his best interpretation of what an adult should be.
I can see that too.
Right.
So,
but this young kid acts more adult than
that's true. When he's a kid, he acts more adult.
I feel like there's a slight disconnect there.
There was a little disconnect. I don't think the child actor's
it's
that
not
great.
real. That's nitpicking at this point, but I think that because it worked.
Yes.
But then I thought, like, one of those things where you're in the moment and you're going with it, you don't care. Then you stop and think about it, and you're like, hey, wow, this kid really was acting super mature and super like control of his emotions and shit.
And then he's suddenly goofy and silly as fuck.
And now he's got the wisdom of Solomon, supposedly, who's like the fucking most wise dude.
So
and he that's
that's
like a
another
crazy
good
person.
question. Let's talk about his powers. They spell it out, and it's kind of cool. It is all based off of gods and historic figures. So S is for the wisdom of Solomon. H for the...
Which he does not use at all.
Right. He should be a lot smarter if you have the fucking wisdom of Solomon. Now, maybe he doesn't know how to tap into it. H, the strength of Hercules. A for Atlas, who gets stamina and invulnerability. Z for Zeus, who gets the lightning powers. A refers to Achilles, where he gets his courage. And M is for the superhuman speed of the god Mercury.
I mean,
cool.
He's just starting out. So.
He is. Like, all of this kind of takes place in like a day or two, really? Right? Does it?
No, it's like...
Oh, no, it's a little more.
No,
They
you guys start the YouTube channel.
Right.
That's
I
true,
love
yeah.
that
It's been a
whole...
while.
I kind of love that whole bit of social media and how
but
he used the,
you know what,
the
though?
testing the powers was great.
There was no need for this kid to have to prove that he knows Shazam because he did the videos.
Yeah.
He just goes, go to my YouTube channel.
Right.
See, you see me on all the fucking videos.
I'm standing right there.
So that whole plot point was completely useless.
I think, yeah, they kind of got that lost a little. They did allude to the fact that he was aware that it has to be kept a secret that they know each other because then the family could get in danger because the first people a villain targets is the family. He makes that reference, but then to be like, oh, I know him. Come to
right. He tried to stay anonymous.
They were trying to like make it so that even both of their characters would have used the powers for selfish reasons because they're both kids.
Reminds me of the scene from Homecoming where he told him where Ned tells him that Spider-Man's going to be at the party. But this one handled differently.
You know, I don't want to bash another movie to prop up this one. But I did enjoy Homecoming. But this is a much better done film with kids than Homecoming.
And you can compare it to Homecoming. That it's very
it's both
similar.
high school.
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of school that is where they have. They have that little girl, and then they have kids driving like Hummers.
It's like
walking in.
junior high and middle school. Yes.
Yeah, the kid gets hit with a car.
Yeah. Wait, like what?
Yeah,
junior
he hit him with it.
It feels like it's a K through 12.
It's one of those schools where they just have every grade. Yes. All the way
It's Philly. They're still in the Stone Age.
It's Philly, man.
Philly
they
has
they
K
can't
through
afford.
12? Is
they
that
can't
still a
afford
thing?
fucking separate buildings. It's a hard.
What
hard
metropolitan goes K through 12?
Did you notice the name of the high school? It was the Easter egg. Fawcett Central High.
I saw that.
A little Easter egg. But going back to another thing.
I felt like one more thing. I felt like those were the only two kids that drove to school.
In their fucking Hummer, those fucking
those leather
douchebags.
jackets.
Yes.
Yeah, they were by far the oldest kids. No one
They
else
didn't
was that
look
old.
old enough to drive, though.
They didn't.
Also,
I don't know. Can you drive at 16 over there?
You
drive at
can,
16.
but they looked really young. And how
I
did
did
they get
click
that
on
car?
this kid, Jack Dylan Grace.
He's great. Freddie Freeman.
He's 15 years old. I thought he was
he's
like
actually
11.
15.
Yeah.
Dude, his lines were great. And the way he was making fun of himself being crippled, hilarious.
I liked, too, that he had a little darkness in him.
Yes,
He lets out that he's been abused all his life and he just wants to be noticed.
Yeah. The whole movie, it's a family-friendly movie. And going back to your point, teenage wish fulfillment. Yes, the 12-year-old in me loved this. And if I was 12, I would fucking be losing my shit. It reminded me of when I saw Goonies and these other great adventures. It had that vibe. But there was some the tone was weird because all of a sudden there's some crazy dark moments, like the guy disintegrating like in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Or how about Savannah in the boardroom just fucking throwing dudes out the window?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck, that's fucking dark.
I actually liked that because I like the dichotomy of having like that little girl.
Darla was great.
Darla,
yes.
where you have, and then you juxtapose that with a dark moment where, Savannah throws a dude out the window and you see people's heads bitten off. Like, I kind of...
That's what a 1980s movie would do.
It reminded me of what I imagine Stranger Things is.
Yeah, a little bit. And like the other thing, like there's no, obviously it's PG-13, like there's no blood anywhere. So it was just when they were getting slammed up against the thing that bite the head off. Of course, no blood, but
like
whatever.
Watch Gremlins and shit. Like there's some fucking heinous stuff going in
So
there.
I like that they went, they kept it a little dark.
Were you saying that was a good thing or a bad thing?
No, I think I kind of enjoyed it because it caught me off guard.
I think they don't make movies like that anymore where they have the balls to test that. Like, weird
go a little bit dark.
Area.
Yes.
Go dark with kids around.
around and
it's scary. Guess what?
Yes.
When you have fucking
life is
demons,
scary. Yes.
they're gonna be fucking scary.
Fucking life
I
is
enjoyed
scary.
it too. I wasn't arguing against it.
What'd you guys think of the suit? I thought the suit actually looked pretty fucking cool. padded.
Looked like he was wearing a fucking tablecloth.
There's a little bit of padding.
muscles.
See,
yeah.
I bashed the suit when I saw stills, but I actually liked it on screen.
Well, this is the thing. In this silly fucking movie,
it works.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't. Like, all the... That's what I'm... if you listen to my quick review, it's basically like, this is a unabashed comedy, like almost like Ghostbusters, that has some like horror elements in it.
It's an action comedy.
Yeah, and the nature of that kind of film, you can kind of just like go with a lot of the stuff that's going on there, even though there's a lot of it's ridiculous.
Go ahead.
I already lost.
Okay, I was gonna say it more so than an action comedy. It just really leans into the comedy aspect of it.
Yeah,
like the action. My only criticism really is the action isn't all that great. Like I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
in terms of the
flying
action.
around looks kind of weird.
It's
sometimes.
not important,
but it's not important, right? The movie relies so much on great character work.
Yeah.
Just like those early, like look at Captain America, look at Thor.
Yep.
Like those movies didn't have great action.
Yep.
But you remember them because they had awesome characters, and this one kind of follows that format too.
It does have great characters. I felt
even in the little moments, like for instance, when they turn into adults,
right?
Yet Darla's character, who's now Megan Good's, going,
Yes.
"Oh wow, I did that."
Megan Good was so great as adult Darla.
Oh, that and when the Chinese boy turned into, or the Korean boy, whatever Asian boy turned into Asian buff dude and going Hadouken, shooting out the lightning. I'm like, these are awesome character moments.
Yeah.
Like I don't even care what they're doing; just the fact that they're acting like kids in adult bodies is amazing.
It totally works. There was one weird thing in which the 17-year-old girl. So the whole thing is when you turn into Shazam, you become your full potential, right?
Right.
So eventually, Billy Batson is going to grow into Zachary Levi at that age, right? And then there'll be no secret identity. But
I guess
the 17-year-old sister.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
She turns into a 40-year-old fucking woman.
But Zachary Levi's 40, right?
Well, he goes, I'm in my 30s, mid-30s.
Yeah.
Somewhere 30s.
I would have thought she would have just become more muscular, but yeah, I mean, I went with it. Whatever.
Her full potential would have only been a few years older than her. I was like, why did you have to age her up? But whatever. And it just got me thinking about like, Billy Batson will grow into looking like Zach Levi.
Well,
in the comics, actually, it wasn't until 1986 that Billy and Shazam were the same person. Before that, when they split, Shazam was smart. He was wise. He was a different identity. He would refer to his Billy. They would refer to himself as separate people. And then in 86, I think it was Roy Thomas reintroduces the character and makes him the same person.
It's a better change to make it the same
I think
person.
it works better that way.
It makes the character stand out more than rather being a Superman clone.
It's like He-Man almost.
Yes, yes, where
He-Man becomes a different person separate from Adam.
Gives him confidence. I mean, I even love the moments in the first battle with Savannah where he has to turn back into Billy to like get away. I love how when the lightning bolt hits him, it goes through shit and destroys things. Like it actually causes damage. So you got to be careful when you fucking yell the name.
One thing back to when all the kids turn into the Marvel family.
Yeah, it is. And they can't even call them that.
Or the Shazam.
The Shazamly.
Shazam, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they can't call them Marvel family. Yeah.
It took Shazam like 3 or 4 weeks to figure out his powers, but they were instantly knew how to fly.
I knew somebody was going to bring that up. Yes, she knows how to run, and I mean they kind of didn't. And they were like
we got to wrap this up. Let's everybody know their powers.
I do agree that they were able to just start fighting with the 7 deadly sins and hold their own. Was a stretch, but again, you enjoy the characters.
Yeah, you have to go with it at this.
They had to do that because you have these 7 deadly sins. Everyone needs, to be
now, what
busy.
Did you think of them?
So I thought that was probably the weakest part of the whole movie is their kind of look, the CGI on them.
They need to make more distinguishing designs. Everybody's gray.
Yeah, you couldn't tell who's who or why.
Give them some color at least.
Except for
separate.
Gluttony was the only one you could tell.
Yes,
and he was fat.
Yes, and he was fat.
So yeah, they needed to make them. I like the idea of making them some sort of personification of a monster. But yeah, I would have liked it more to be more distinct. Each sin.
You had one guy with bat wings, and then all the other ones look exactly the same except for the fat one.
I believe
they all look the same.
In the comics, they are like different colors, and they're more customized to their sin.
Although, that I definitely agree with. I do think it was clever though that the one that he could rile up was Envy.
Yes, he kept fucking prodding at him. And I like the whole thing, how they figured out his weakness. Like, I thought that was really, it wasn't forced. It was handled well. You noticed the cut on his head.
His eye?
Well, no, the fact that they had to get him to release all of them, and he had no more power. Yeah, and then he had no more powers once all the 7 deadly sins are outside his body, and then the eye thing, obviously, too.
Yeah.
Some good shit. I like the first battle with Savannah. I think the end battle was maybe a little bit too long, but the kids were having fun.
Right.
It was a little long for sure.
Yeah,
that
kind of just kept going. But I wish that was my weakest. My only thing would be the CGI on the sins. But they are an important part of the story because there's another Easter egg. They showed you fucking Black Adam.
Oh shit!
For a second in the hologram when the wizard says there was a hero, a champion before who released all the 7 deadly sins. They show you Black Adam.
Oh, wow.
The Rock has said he is going to present production on Black Adam. He also, Dwayne Johnson, produced this movie. He is heavily involved in this. And
Did he really?
Yes. He's one of the producers.
Better move to have this movie come out and then Black Adam.
Yes, because if he was in this movie, he would totally overshadow every fucking body.
Where did you see that he's producing it?
I heard
it was in the credits.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm looking at the Wikipedia and it doesn't say that.
Look on the IMDb, and I heard it on another podcast too. And I was like, holy shit.
This is, Ruggs is absolutely correct. They were going to do a Black Adam film, I think.
Yes.
But this is a much better idea, and I think this builds hype for the eventual clash between Zachary Levi
Jeff
and
Johns
Black
and
Adam.
Dwayne Johnson, executive producers. Another interesting thing, I think this is the first movie that has nothing to do with Zack Snyder at all. Hands off. No Snyder producing.
You know,
wrong.
What? Aquaman?
Superman.
Man.
It's a Zack Snyder Superman in there.
No, I'm saying behind the scenes.
Oh, behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's produced Aquaman, Wonder Woman, all these movies.
I can't take full credit for this.
Yeah.
This was actually brought up by our good friend Devin Faraci.
Oh, Devin Faraci, how's he doing these days?
But he brings up the dichotomy between a Zack Snyder film and this.
Yeah.
So a Zack Snyder film. Remember in Man of Steel when they're in that like off-roads bar or something like that, and Batman's Superman's. I think he's being bullied, or someone's talking shit to the waitress
when he has a beard. Yeah,
and then those dudes go outside and they see their cars stuck between a pole.
Oh yeah, or the truck is like on the pole. Yes,
right.
Yeah.
And then in this one, they also have the scene where Billy throws the car up in the air and it lands.
The kid's car.
So they have both of those things, except one is a petulant teenager doing this in a superhero's body, so that makes sense.
And the other one is
a 30-year-old adult that is being petulant and doing that. This is the difference between their understanding of character between Zack Snyder and someone that actually understands that like these characters are for kids, and these characters are supposed to be beacons of hope, not some petulant 30-year-old man-child.
Certain characters.
Certain characters.
Right.
Man of Steel,
but that's not Superman's character to do that.
Right.
Man, he gets half of it right in Man of Steel, and the other half is like, well, what? He's trying something.
He's not an angry person like that. He wouldn't do that.
He's never. But if your father said, "Don't fucking help anyone,"
that's true.
Maybe it would be. Anyways, that's not what we're talking.
Human. Superman's not human. He's should be better than us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He represents the best.
So I hope in the sequel of this that when he's Shazam, he does maybe grow up a little bit, or is not as goofy, or a little more confident.
He had some weird looks on his face.
Okay, when he tries to make the serious face, when his nostrils flare, he looks fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, he did.
He looks so silly and stupid. I'm sorry.
He can't really sell that.
No,
that's what I'm saying. This movie is really reliant on how silly the situation is to carry you through it. Because if they tried to make him do a serious turn, I don't know if it would work.
No, it doesn't. It didn't. Like, I see what they were doing. They were trying to make him badass. And for a minute, like
I don't
when
know
he
if they
says,
were trying to make him fully badass.
Well, like the little moments where he turns to them in the
I think
robbery,
it's supposed to be bad, like goofy.
Yeah, maybe
because,
because he's trying to be.
I really don't know if he could actually pull it off. Like be in the same room with Henry Cavill as Superman, and have the same like weight.
Speaking of which, let's talk about the post-credit scenes, because I forgot that we had talked about the fact that Cavill was supposed to be in it, and he didn't do it, and he canceled. This was all during the whole mustache gate time with the Justice League reshoots, this is also when he decided not to do it. Honestly, I don't think you needed him in there. I didn't mind just seeing the chest shot of Superman. You get it. I think it still worked. It was still a pretty good gag.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It would have worked a lot better if they had
If it was actually Cavill showing up. It was pretty funny. And then the other one, Mr. Mine. What do you guys know about Mr. Mine? Anybody?
That was the first time
I was lost on that.
That's the first time I've ever seen a post-credit scene where I was completely lost.
Wow.
I didn't even know who was talking.
I was like, is this a joke?
So I remember.
I didn't realize it was a fucking caterpillar.
Did you notice the caterpillar earlier on in the movie?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I did not.
Earlier on in the beginning, when they're in the wizard's lair, the caterpillar is in a jar in the foreground as the camera pushes in, right? Later on, when Billy Batson comes back, you see the jar and it's broken and the caterpillar's gone. This is a character called Mr. Mind. He's a malevolent bug who's been described as a cartoonish worm possessing an intelligence beyond that of human beings. In the comics, his powers include telepathy, hypnosis, and the ability to spin super strong silk at a high speed like Spider-Man. So Mr. Mind first appears in Captain Marvel Avengers number 22, eventually teaming up with Sivana to form the Monster Society of Evil. That's probably what is the second movie is going to be.
We're not really drawing for the best fucking material
I
here.
do like that they didn't kill Sivana. That's refreshing
That's right.
also. He did a good job. Mark Strong was pretty good.
If you're gonna go and embrace the comic books,
Do it all the way.
This is full out.
Yeah.
When you throw a fucking caterpillar that can talk.
You're like, what the fuck? Trippy as fuck.
I was sitting there going,
I didn't know what that was.
This is all going over my head.
I didn't know
there were
either.
people in the theater
Clapping?
clapping, and I
Oh
was
my
like,
God, how do you know
What am I
fucking-
missing? And how do you know about this fucking
That
caterpillar?
is what you call a deep fucking cut.
Oh, shit.
Like that's a deep. I don't know how these people deal about the cut.
I thought we were getting a Black Adam reference. I was like, where's Black Adam?
That would have been great to do a Black Adam thing, but they can easily do that in the second movie. Also, they kind of introduced it.
Look, I got a couple more things.
Yeah.
Or at least one more. Mark Strong was okay. I didn't think his character was. I think this was another one of those movies though where the villain wasn't all that.
I could have
great.
used a little bit more of him as an adult and Lex Luthering about a bit or whatever he was doing.
Well, my big thing about his character is that, in general, this is so weird because, this is a movie that is what it is, and then there's a movie that I could make out of this in my mind where, okay, what the fuck are we talking about here? This whole Shazam. What is that? This dude just lives in a cave. I don't get it. What are these guys doing? Where are this magic coming from?
The Rock
All
of
this stuff.
Eternity.
Yeah, and so then you got a guy who is obsessed with this and studying it his whole life, and you don't see him at all until he's a grown man.
Yeah.
And there is so much an opportunity that they could have used him as a vehicle to unload some of this lore.
Yeah.
And make this more well-rounded and give better rules and all that other stuff.
I mean, I thought
really
it
flesh
did
out.
set pretty good rules and it follows its rules. And I like that he was all the different people who went through this experience and didn't get it. But you're right. I could have used a little bit more about.
But he was the perfect vehicle for that.
Yes.
His life was the vehicle for that.
But then you're taking away time from the fucking kids and the foster home.
Well, I think that you want to know something, and you guys are going to disagree with me 100%.
Yeah.
But I think that the whole element of his mother, I think they should have not done that.
Well, I forgot about that. Let's talk about that. It was kind of a weird
I
tonal
feel like that
thing in the
weakened his
middle.
character so much. I feel like, number one, him being this dude who calls the police so he could get in their car when he could just go and look it up on his fucking phone. Where's
No, he was running a license plate check. You need the cop car computer.
Yeah, but where does he get the license plate from? So anyhow, that was such an unnecessary thing. All right. And then they didn't need to explain that his mom was whatever. They could have just had him be an orphan grew up in an orphanage.
What a piece of shit, though. You were like, what a piece of shit. I didn't.
Him finding his mother. I think they did that so that he could finally accept this new family. But that cheapens the whole new family to me. Why did he need to fucking lose out this dream to fucking accept them when they're good people? So I found that weakened his story. So I think they could have just thrown that whole mother story out.
I see your point for sure. Initially I disagreed, and I am sort of seeing your side. I think what it does kind of cheapen the fact that he embraces the new family, but I looked at it as the reason he's embracing the new family is because they even helped him find his mother.
Oh yeah.
The Latino kid finds the notebook in the thing and deduces that
He got no screen time, that kid.
He barely got any.
I know.
They
The kid was
deduce
great.
with the Chinese boy or the Asian boy that he's looking for his mother, and they figure it out.
And they find more
that's
bad
why he
sins.
embraces them, is because they even care for him.
Well, that they once again heaped on another friendliness to him and another kindness to him when they were already friendly and kind to him.
Yeah.
So I feel like it adds something to that their relationship, I guess, but then it opens up time for other stuff, and you can do different relationship things, and you have all that time that you put into this kind of narrative that didn't need to be there.
This is showing him what true family means. Like, he thought his mom was family, and this is what he realizes that,
Think about all the time that they wasted on him trying to find his mom. That's a good chunk of 10 minutes there.
I guess you could have put in more Savannah. There was something weird.
And it doesn't really change anything about the story. He still gets adopted by his foster family. He still falls in love with them, and they still help him out because they don't. Yeah,
they still help him become a better person, and they basically help him go from a teenager to somewhat of an adult.
Yeah,
to make good decisions.
I feel like that's another weak point in the movie. I think
I see your point.
Yeah,
I don't completely agree, but I see.
No. Yeah,
I thought it was the moment where she like ditches him. Like, there was something odd just in the storytelling or the way they shot that. Like, I didn't buy why
don't
she would
police
just walk
like
away.
go and find the mother.
Yeah,
like don't they look for her? They just we never found her.
Yeah, she never came. Like, we're just standing here.
It was a week.
That is true. Her ditching him at a carnival and just being able to get away with
and
it.
just walk away.
The police
the
definitely
cops never find her.
Yeah, the police would have found her and put her in fucking jail.
Yes, but wow.
Yeah, so I just think that was just. There were some like conveniences that were written in there that I was just like, but
I felt bad for him though. Like,
in
it
this
helped to feel bad
kind
for
of
him.
context, whatever.
It's
stop talking over people, please.
What happened?
You're talking over him.
I'll cut that out in post. Nobody will hear it.
No, don't do it.
I could separate everything, so it doesn't matter. But so much heart in this movie. It's really charming.
It's a very charming movie.
Some more Easter eggs. There was a whole bunch of smiley faces on the counselor's desk, kind of referring to Watchmen. That was Ace Chemical was in the background. This I thought was a really weird coincidence. Remember that George Miller movie, Justice League Mortal, that they were going to make for a hot second? Actually, they were ready to shoot, and then that week, they had to shut everything down. Adam Brody, who plays the superhero Teddy, was going to play Flash in George Miller's Justice League movie, and DJ Catrona, who plays the adult superhero Pedro, was cast as Superman in that George Miller movie. And they finally do get to work together on something they actually shot. And that's it. The other Easter eggs I went over.
Joke.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Look, let's rank it. Let's rate it. We have 7 movies from the worlds of DC. Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, and Shazam. Where does this movie rank? Let's go reverse. Rug Boy. Give me a number.
Where does it rank?
And give me
in what?
In those 7 movies. Nobody pays attention.
I think it's like I like Wonder Woman more.
Yeah.
This is a better, more balanced film than Wonder Woman. I'll say that. I feel like as a comedy, it's just what it sets out to do. It does it better in a lot of ways. As a whole, than Wonder Woman does as being a superhero film.
Yeah.
Because you have that weak third act.
It's more well-rounded.
Yeah, but I think that Wonder Woman's got, even though it elicited laughter from me and stuff like that, I feel like it's easier to do that to make me laugh than it is to like inspire me.
Yeah.
And to like make me have like the hairs on the back of my neck stand up and stuff like that. And I think that Wonder Woman did that. So that one's always going to be on the top for me.
All right.
And so I'll put this one on second, and then I'll put, I guess, I want to say Aquaman because it was such a weird movie, but where do you go from there?
Yeah, it's really a shit show from there.
Man of Steel at number 3, maybe?
Yeah, maybe Man of Steel and then Aquaman.
Then Aquaman.
And Suicide Squad's on the dead bottom.
Correct.
And then you got the Batman.
Justice League BVS in between.
Justice League is actually worse than Batman vs. Superman.
Oh, okay. You'd have those flipped.
Yeah.
What number would you give this movie out of 10?
That's a tough one. I mean, as a comedy, it works very well. Very good. I would probably give it an 8.
All right.
As a comedy.
Yeah.
As a superhero film, and if you look at all the things that we have to kind of like let go because it is a silly comedy and you can't really take it seriously.
Yeah.
If I were to take it seriously and nitpick everything, I could easily chop it down. So I would say for what it is, it's an 8. For a superhero film and a film in general that makes sense, I would probably chop it down some.
Okay, Anthony, rank it, rate it.
Sure. This is clearly between Wonder Woman and Shazam. Any other movie up there is you're just fooling yourself if you think any of the other movies are even remotely close.
Yep.
I'm not going to rank the other movies. So I've thought about this a little bit. Wonder Woman initially would have been my choice because it's the more iconic film. It means more to the general society. There's bigger moments. The No Man's Land scene is one of the all-timers.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
But upon further analysis, Wonder Woman's whole plot is built around the fact that she's this naive woman that thinks by stopping Ares, she is going to cure the evilness in humans.
Okay.
And in that third act, she learns that humans are much more complex than that.
Yeah.
And it's not about just killing Ares. Yet she kills Ares, and they stop the war anyways. So the whole premise of the movie is so undercut by the third act.
Confusing. Yeah.
You're right.
That I can't put it above a film that is in Shazam, which is built on the premise that this kid is a loner, and he's telling the 17-year-old sister, look out for number one. And the whole lesson of this film is, don't look out for number one. It's actually better to share the wealth with everyone. And this third act, he shares the wealth with everyone.
Yeah.
He becomes a better person by sharing the wealth and not being selfish, and they end up defeating the enemy. So cohesively as a plot, this is actually a better film than Wonder Woman, which means I will put this above Wonder Woman.
Holy shit, that is a very good fucking analysis and argument. Because
the whole theme
it's fleshed out. Yes,
connects. There's a through line through this entire film
it's
that
more
makes
complete,
sense.
Yes,
whereas Wonder Woman's through line ends in the second act and and starts to get frayed.
Yeah, they throw it away.
They throw it away. They absolutely throw it away. They had a moment. That's the thing about Wonder Woman. They had a moment there to really do something special in the third act, and they turned it into a big CGI battle.
You're right.
That ends because the war ends because Ares dies.
Shazam nails the ending better.
Yes. As far as theme.
So
because Shazam is basically Shazam is not really doing what Shazam actually is. It's doing Spider-Man.
Right.
So that's what. So they pulled from a better story, a better narrative.
But it's also doing Tom Hanks in Big, and that character kind of goes through a similar growth.
We're talking about what Anthony just brought up.
Right.
All of this stuff about being a better person.
Yeah.
All this other stuff. That's
it's a complete cohesive message.
I mean, Wonder Woman's a beauty. That's also a beauty. She does learn. Like, it's a beautiful message. The message falls flat because they undercut it in the third act.
Yeah,
she does still grow.
So I would initial thought was Wonder Woman.
Fuck.
And I would actually agree with Ruggs. I'd go 8 out of 10 with this film as well.
Wow.
If it had better action, I could put it higher.
Okay. Yeah. Man, I was going to go ranking. It was going to be like Ruggs' ranking. I was Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Man of Steel. Sorry, Wonder Woman, Shazam, Aquaman. Fuck, I fucked up.
Don't rank those other films.
Number 1, Wonder Woman, Shazam, Man of Steel, Aquaman. Just 4. I was going to do the 4. But you could tie Aquaman with Wonder Woman because your argument makes a lot of sense. But Ruggs' argument also makes sense. You do definitely remember the iconic moments. It's it has humor, but it also has gravitas and some weight to it and some seriousness.
Wonder Woman's definitely the more important film if you're talking about gravitas towards superhero, like the overall impact. Wonder Woman's going to be felt forever. Shazam, who knows?
Shazam may or may not be forgotten or buried, but it's a solid, cohesive, well-rounded movie. It does what it was supposed to do. Like, it does exactly what it set out to do.
Yeah, it just culturally, like it didn't make the box office. It's not as. It's probably going to have legs.
Yeah, I think it'll have
people
legs.
People are going to talk about how
Will
good
it have legs? That's a good question. That's what I wanted to know.
It'll have more legs than it should have. Yeah, I mean, not according to the film, but according to its popularity.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, once an Endgame comes out, it only has like 2 weekends to fucking make some money.
Right, but it'll probably maybe hold the drop off will be less.
It'll be interesting. It's going to beat Hellboy again the second weekend, I think. No problem. It did open at number 1.
Right.
I'm still going Wonder Woman 1, Shazam 2, and I was like 8 out of 10. This is a solid 8 out of 10.
It's a tough, you're comparing two completely different genres of film, even though they're both superhero movies.
All right, well, let me ask you this. What was the better Captain Marvel movie put out in 2019?
I definitely enjoyed this 10 times more. I had more fun at this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there was people that were like, I don't know if it was like, laughing so hard they had to get up out of their chair to laugh.
Yeah, no, I was laughing heartily out loud, sincere, had me going.
Well, I wasn't, but there was some people like, well, dude, you got to calm down. But there was a lot of that reaction going on. There was clapping.
Yeah.
There was, there was all kinds of stuff.
I would agree. I think Shazam is the better film.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, the thing is, though, is we're really only comparing these two films because they have
the same
Captain Marvel, but they're totally different in terms of what they were going for and the character. And I mean, one's a 90s told backwards space adventure kind of thing
with aliens and shapeshifters.
And the other one's a 80s wish fulfillment kid film.
And I love the magic rules because they're like only magic hurts magic. So he's immune to everything unless he faces fucking stronger magic. And I love when he found that out. I mean, I had a lot of fun at this movie. It is hard to compare them, but I would
say Shazam's a better film.
I would watch this again before watching Captain Marvel.
Shazam is probably the best superhero comedy that there is. And Deadpool is obviously, the first one is obviously right up there with it. But I think that Deadpool has all of these advantages.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
It can curse, it could show dick, it can show
breaks the fourth
it has
wall,
violence. Breaks the fourth. This doesn't do any of that stuff, and it's still just as funny.
Yeah, the writing was great. The humor writing was so good.
Deadpool has better action.
Yeah.
Higher
budget, or no? Deadpool, the first one
similar budget.
Yeah, it was like $60 million, I think.
Yeah, Shazam was higher budget, but
no,
I think Shazam is. I'm trying to think of the superhero films all-time funniest.
Right.
Where do you guys put this? So, okay, here's a question for you guys: is this funnier than Thor Ragnarok?
That thought came to mind. Really, you think so?
The humor in it is way better.
I would agree. Although Thor Ragnarok is basically considered a comedy Marvel film as well,
because this is the thing. This particular character in this situation acts accordingly, and then thus humor ensues.
It's good situational humor.
Is like, we're going to take Thor and all of a sudden make him silly.
Yeah.
So it's like you're forcing it. It's being forced.
Better than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 comedy?
Oh, well,
yes.
Yeah.
I know Ruggs is going to say
that's not even a question.
I know what you're
That's the most forced fucking comedy I've ever seen.
It is one of the better superhero
I enjoy
comedies.
Marvel comedy, but I agree that this one felt more natural. Like a lot of it's following the Iron Man, Tony Stark lead of being quippy.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is kids trying to be quippy because these kids are inundated with watching superheroes, so they think that this is the way to act as an adult.
Yeah, but there's funny setups.
That's true.
The setups are really funny.
There's funny line
delivery.
There's
the part where
they blew a lot of these jokes in the fucking commercial, but like when he's charging people's phones and then he blows a guy's phone up. Like that's fucking funny. Or when he jumps up into the over the building and he lands inside the building.
into the window.
That's fucking funny, but they blew that.
The best for me is when they think of a place to land the transport to, and they think of a strip club.
They're back at the strip
They
club.
do it twice, and the second time the little kids got her. They're covering the little kids, Darla's eyes.
Why can't I see anything?
I mean, that's legitimately that's what a kid thinks of. So I want to see some titties.
I also laughed out loud when he told them to grab his shaft. And he's like, say my name. And they all go, Billy. And he's like, no, say what I say. And it turned into this. Like,
it's legit funny.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's such a charming movie.
Yeah,
I almost wish I would have seen it again.
Yeah, I could absolutely watch it
It
again.
reminds me of 80s movies.
Yes.
It has an 80s
That's the
feel
heart
to it.
and the charm of an 80s movie.
I haven't seen a ton of 80s movies, but a lot of the reviews that I trust were referencing them. Yeah, go ahead.
I tell you what the thing about 80s movies, they treated kids a certain way.
Seriously, almost.
They allowed for mixing of genres or things that, like, you know, when something is in a kid movie now, it's like Disneyfied.
Yeah.
Like only these things happen in a kid's movie. So like this was kind of like it's a kid's movie, but adults can enjoy it. There's jokes for adults in it. There's all kinds of stuff going on that's a little bit more well thought out than you'd think. There's a little bit more nuance than you think to this movie. So it does have a lot of 80s qualities to it. It's not as dumbed down as you think.
So let's
what does it name a couple movies you think it draws from?
Well, obviously there's like a Goonies thing going on.
Goonies.
Yeah.
I need to watch the Goonies.
Did you ever watch the Monster Squad?
Oh,
I think
I talked about that.
Yeah, I finally watched that.
It's fucking. These kids are acting like adults in this movie. They're like talking about like all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, it reminds me of that.
But that's how kids talk, though.
Right.
Sometimes.
Have you seen the trailer for this new Seth Rogen movie with all these kids and they're fucking swearing and playing with dildos? It's like an R-rated movie with kids, and in the beginning of the trailer, he's like, you kids can't actually watch this trailer to your own movie. But it's like super bad with little kids. But it reminded me of Goonies, like Flight of the Navigator or like Stand By Me, movies that when you were a kid, you just wanted to grab your bike and your friends and go on an adventure, like, because it inspired you. Like this, I had the same feeling from this movie.
In the Goonies, all right, there's kids, you know, in tweens or teen, you know, preteens, and they knock down a statue of the David and the dick falls off.
Yes.
All right. And then the kid picks it up and goes, that's my mother's favorite part. All right. There would never be a joke like that.
Yeah.
But it's something that a kid would totally say.
Absolutely.
In front of his friends at 12 years old. We don't have that. We've milked that out. We've completely obliterated that kids talk
But this
like
movie has that a little bit. They kind of brought a little bit of that back.
I mean, they land again. They land in a strip club. That's
So
the
great.
first place he thinks of to transport them to.
Someplace safe. Okay, let's end with this because Jess Rivera had a good comment in the spoiler thread on the Jock and Nerd Nation when I posted this. He said, is the movie actually good, or are we just hyped because it's not another total DC disaster? Can we definitively say DC has turned it around now after Aquaman and Shazam, Wonder Woman?
Here's what I'll say about that. It's actually good.
It is.
It is actually good.
Okay.
Can we say DC has turned it around? I don't know if they turned it around.
No.
But I'll give them credit in that Aquaman and this movie and Wonder Woman, but especially these two post-Justice League definitely have the director's stamp all over it.
Yeah.
So Aquaman is, there's a lot of really cool shots that James Wan has.
It's a James
in
Wan
this.
movie.
Yeah, this one is definitely has the a stamp, like some sort of stamp that you go, okay, like this director is
It has
all
style.
over this. Yeah, it has some sort of style.
Same thing
It's
with Wonder Woman has style.
Right. It's not and I love Marvel movies, but it's not the cookie cutter formulaic Marvel movie.
So this is kind of interesting. I'm kind of liking this direction. I kind of feel like they're starting to get it, and they've gotten to Aquaman, of course, $1 billion. I think this is another success critically, a little bit more financially, but like I said in the beginning, I love the casual references to the DC universe, how they're not forcing it on or the story suffers because of that.
Well, it makes sense
it works.
because you make a movie about a character in the DC universe. What they used to do is not mention any other character.
Right. Nobody else existed.
All right.
Yeah.
Then Marvel did this thing where they're going to now weave all these characters together and they have to be all intertwined with kind of. Now, what this movie does is like, oh, we mentioned the characters exist. We acknowledge that we're in the same universe. It doesn't necessarily have to be tied into everything, but we acknowledge that it exists in a world with Superman and Batman. And that's a smart thing to do because it leaves the door open for a lot of things.
I like the little dig on the Aquaman movie in the last post-credit scene where he's like, he's eating 1 billion fish.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, isn't that cool? He's trying to talk to the fish, the goldfish.
No, he's testing out his powers.
He's like, don't have telepathy. I love the powers. I think like any superhero movie, you got to have a fun powers testing montage. And this one had a great one. It was a lot of fun. It is an actual good movie. I am surprised that I had this much fun at a DCEU movie.
I was also surprised.
A universe that started with the dark and dreary Zack Snyder fingerprints all over it.
Can I ask one question before we stop?
Yeah.
I just remembered this moment in the movie.
Okay.
So he's doing the lightning bolts.
Yeah.
He hits the bus.
Right.
The bus careens and starts hanging over the edge.
Correct.
Why the fuck is he just standing there?
Why doesn't he fly up and stop it?
I was wondering that too. Why doesn't he just fly up and push it?
Did he know he could fly at that point?
But even if he can run as fast as the Flash, he could have ran to where the bus was.
Look, he's a kid. He fucking panicked.
And pull it out.
Yeah, he's a kid.
He's a
That's all I
fucking...
got.
Well, I love where he's like, I'm almost 15. What does he say? I'm 15-ish. But he's a kid. He panicked.
Oh,
I love where he's
that
like...
wisdom of Solomon not thinking it.
No
wisdom of Solomon.
That line's wasted in the commercials too, but it was a great line where he's like, you almost electrocuted him. He's like, but then I caught it. And that's what
they burnt a lot of the lines in the
They did.
I'm very glad though they didn't burn the
Marvel family. Holy shit. And what are they going to call him? Because they can't call him. But does that make Shazam a little less special now that everybody has fucking powers?
Yeah.
It does, but it's the whole theme of the movie. It's
heart,
the share,
family.
Yeah, it's family.
We don't need a Shazam because we have Superman. So it's an opportunity to now create this fun little team of people that could do all crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, that's the review. That's the show, Ruggs. Where can the people find you on the lines?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy.
Where he's trying to get banned by more famous people.
I'm reading weird ass tweets, and I had to restrain myself from going off today, and I didn't. Because somebody said that Shazam promotes negative body stereotypes.
What?
Because when they
become perfect.
They become perfect, and then why is that the perfect human being? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Superheroes. The fuck? It's your full potential.
I was gonna go off.
It's magic from a wizard. Why are you fucking questioning this?
Also, yeah, I mean, come on. I'm not even going to say that. That's just so stupid.
It's the same people.
I just go, Twitter is where fucking, like, I don't know, just weird thoughts just become things.
These are the same people that forced the Russo brothers to explain why fucking Carol Danvers is wearing makeup and a tank top now in the fucking movie.
These are the same motherfuckers that will advocate that someone that is overweight can't be told they're overweight by the doctor because you're fat shaming them.
You know what I got for these people? Here, this is what they get.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together.
Why are you putting people through this?
Listener, follow us on the gram at Jock and Nerd. And new episodes of Trivia Geeks Live, where I host the trivia game show. Check that out. Anthony's got a spinoff show. Between each show, we got lots of content.
Oh, let me plug that.
Yes.
I got Daniel Nosker's. This episode's already out. Hopefully you're checking that out. He's a really cool guy. He's actually was somewhat inspired by our podcast to start his own podcast. So
long-time listener, man.
I had him on, yeah. And coming up, I don't know yet.
Who's next?
Well, I have someone. His name. He was on the Jock and Nerd podcast. He currently works for Google. Trying to line up my buddy Chris Sotelo. He film makes for Google. So hopefully I can line him up. But if not, I'll find somebody.
Remember when Sotelo came on the show and we broke down movie trailers?
Yeah.
That was so much fun. Great insight.
Yeah. So since then, he's now moved out to California.
He works for fucking Google.
Works for the man.
The biggest, most evil company around. Maybe.
Yep.
Do no evil, but they do. Whatever.
Yep. So hopefully him. If not, I'll find someone else.
Ruggs, what was that?
I said, what?
And with that, we're going to say goodbye. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the Nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I think I'm going to go on Twitter.
Do what?
I think that I'm going to
get into an argument.
I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to talk about how it's okay for me to suck, but you have to be the best, flawless person in the world and have the right opinion about everything.
Fuck that show.
Yeah. I could suck. I could be a fat fuck.